I'm well aware that while some of you will agree with me, there will be part of my audience that will strongly disagree with me, and perhaps some of you will even get upset with my takes today. Here's the thing though, what do you think is better? A YouTuber who just panders to you, just tells you what he knows you want to hear all the time? Or is it better for me to just say what I think, even if I know that some of you will disagree, and hope that you will do so in a civil manner and explain to me why you disagree? I choose the latter. It's less safe, but it's my way to respect your intelligence. So today I would like to react to a post that really annoyed me. And you know that usually in the last few months, in fact, I've been very critical of the radical left. But today is actually on the other side. It's actually on the other side because there are some people who in theory are on my side, at least on some aspects. But this is cringe, so I have to call it out because it's not beneficial in any way, shape or form. I just can't stand it. See, if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Am I right? Am I wrong? You tell me. Juliet Turner, POV, you are a young woman celebrating a recent academic success. So here's this woman, she got a PhD, and I would say, good for her. Good for her. That's what I said. I said, holy shit. How about congratulations, guys? It's not difficult. I mean, it's fine. Congratulations. Congratulations to her. But apparently this upset a lot of guys. And this is the thing. You know that I'm clearly conservative in a lot of views, but there are some people on my side that when they see this, they go ape shit. And I just don't get why. Like they have to tell this woman that she's a failure because she didn't get married. Man, and then she doesn't have children. Or maybe I mean, I don't get that. Like, I get it. I do believe that happiness and joy comes from the traditional marriage and the traditional gender roles. With that being said, what do you think you're achieving here by being awful to her? Nothing. If anything, you're going to entrench her even more in whatever ideas she had. Also, it's out of line. Let's have a look at some of these comments. So, they just handing doctorates out to anyone now, huh? What do you mean? Based on what? Because she's blonde? Like blonde equals stupid? Is that what you're doing? I don't get it. How do you know that she isn't really intelligent and actually worked for her degree? It sounds like you're jealous at this point that you don't have a degree. Next, no grandmother on her deathbed was ever asked, so what was your thesis on? Even that. There's nothing. She could still, by the way, get married. You know, she could still find, maybe she hasn't found the man of her life. Isn't that preferable, in fact, from a traditional standpoint, than someone who dates 100 men and has 15 kids with them? And that I'm saying this to show the inner logical inconsistency within people that think this way, or they believe they think this way. Now, the reality is that why are you offended? Maybe she hasn't found a man that she truly loves and that she can spend her life with and have a family and children. Have you ever thought of that possibility? Just look at that degree on that chick. No man had ever. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. That's one thing I don't understand. She's a beautiful woman anyways. But even then, like, who cares? If anything, the degree is a plus. Unless she's one of those politically indoctrinated people with PhDs that start spewing nonsense and pushing political propaganda and that are completely brainwashed into anti-white sentiment, then I can agree with you. But here's the thing. How do you know? She just has a degree. In fact, these people, these guys, have a problem with woman plus degree. You shouldn't. You should have a problem with woman with degree or men with degree at that point if they're using their degree for political indoctrination, because at that point they are losing whatever depth that degree had. But before this, she's just saying, hey guys, I just got a degree, I'm so happy, and everyone has to go and shit on her parade. Why? Look at this guy. You could have had 4 babies in that time, more if you count the precursor degrees. Even this, how do you know her personal story? You're being judgmental. Of course, she could have had 4 babies with anyone, but is that truly what a good traditional woman does? She just had 4 babies with anyone because, quick, you're getting 29. How do you know? Them eggs aren't getting any younger. Here's another one. It's like, this idea as well that, and again, I do believe in the traditional family very strongly, and I will fight all sorts of progressive nonsense when it comes to that. But this isn't it. This isn't the strong line of attack you think it is. You don't know this person's life. You don't know what they have gone through. You don't know whether or not the reason why she made the choices she made. And she doesn't owe you reproduction just because it offends you. Not everyone has to have children, by the way. And I am a strong supporter of families, absolutely. but it's not obligatory. People still have the freedom to choose how they want to live their lives. And once again, we're not reproduction machines. You need to find a person that is the right man or the right woman that you want to have a family with, because otherwise, you know what happens? Divorce. And I don't encourage people to get married just to get divorced. In fact, if anything, I'd say, no. Date each other for a longer period of time. Make sure that you have things in common. Don't marry someone just based on the looks. And after you've spent some time and you think, you know what, I really want to make a family with this wonderful person, then have the kids. Is this weird? Does it make me woke in the position of some people, or am I just being reasonable? I think it's the latter. Empty egg carton. That's disgusting. What is wrong with you? And there is more. Usually the DEI ones post this to get validated in their delusions that they are intelligent. DEI, she's white as white can be. She's literally a blonde with blue eyes. What are you on about, DEI? And I'm one who bitches about DEI, but what DEI what? And if you mean that because she has a degree means she must be one of those crazy radical leftists, you don't know that. Maybe she's just a woman who is very smart, got a degree in biology, and she's an excellent at the lab. How about that one? I will call you Dr. Turner in bed. Yeah, like she's gonna give you a chance. Subscribe. Yes, but rest assured, after that huge investment, she thinks and hopes it adds value to men, but it doesn't, and that will annoy her. Maybe she chose to study biology because she's interested in biology. And besides, if it were a man like me, I look at a person 360. Looks are important, okay? So let's not pretend this hypocrisy that looks don't matter, because they do. You have to be attracted to a person. But let's say that I see a beautiful woman, but I also want to see what she thinks, what her values are, to see if we share, at least partially, our views onto the world. But to me, if a woman that I was interested in also happened to be a successful biologist with a PhD, that's a plus. As I say, the only way in which it would be a minus is if it's one of those crazies in academics that push nonsense. Then it's like, oh, no, I don't have anything to do. I don't care the way she looks. But yeah, when you say men hate it or annoy her, no, I'm not annoyed by an educated woman. It's not a priority necessarily. I would take, but that's me, okay? I would take a smart, beautiful Christian woman who doesn't have a PhD over a woman who does have a PhD but doesn't share any values with me. So I will say, yeah, the level of education isn't a high priority when it comes to me. I'm more interested into the nature of the person. If we can laugh together, we can smile together. If we like similar things, if it's just a pleasure to have a conversation and be with her, as well as, of course, all the physical aspects of a relationship. But it's definitely not a minus. What the heck? Congratulations on successfully becoming a biologist but failing at biology. You are 30 years old with no husband or kids, a genetic dead end in an unbroken line of succession from your ancestors since the beginning of time. But hey, at least you have your cats to keep you company. Once again, this kind of connects to this idea that for whatever reason, at one point, you just gotta find any man and make kids. Because you have to before you're 30, otherwise you're wasted. How does that mean? Like, what does that mean? People like this are extremely shallow. So you choose a partner based on what? I don't even know how to answer to this because it's extremely toxic and it oozes ignorance. I know that some people will agree. I've already got a fought with someone on Twitter actually when I wrote my answer, my comment. And then someone was like, no, he's absolutely right on that one. She failed. She's a failure. Failure based on what? What do you mean she's a failure? 30 is young, for crying out loud. I'm a 43-year-old man. 30 is young. And once again, no one owes you reproduction. It's a choice. Even from a religious perspective, God gave us the choice. He said, go and multiply. He did, but he left the freedom. If he wanted, he could have forced us. He didn't. That tells me something. It's a choice. And it's definitely dependent on situations that you go through in your life. Once again, I don't believe that go and reproduce means with anyone at all costs, as quickly as possible. No, I think it still meant find the person you love and create a piece of heaven in your house and raise those children, in my case, in the faith. But that's just my personal take on it. Angry says, shame you didn't do it in the 80s when it meant something. Now, as soon as someone says, I went to Oxford, I instantly think, okay, brainwashed, woke retard with the critical thinking skills of a brick. So here's the thing. I understand where he's coming from, but one, I wouldn't use shame because that already makes it look like you're not wanting to have a conversation. You just want to point the finger and laugh. He's right in the sense that there are scenarios in which absolutely today you gotta be careful when someone says, I have a degree. It could be a red flag, but you need to wait. You can't just do it automatically because then now you are being judgmental and you might be pointing the finger at someone who is not. They're actual professionals. They're actual academics. They know what they're talking about. They're not compromising their degrees in order to do the dog whistles and the virtual signaling that we're all familiar with and that I personally fight on this platform. And this, in fact, I think, if anything, this is what differentiates me and hopefully most of you who follow me from this kind of people. Because I attack only the guilty. These people think you're guilty immediately beforehand, even before starting, and then for some reasons they think that everyone owes them something. And not to mention that, but they also don't initiate a conversation, a discourse, but they go into shaming, immediately shaming. I disagree with this. These people really annoy me. I don't even care. We might have similar politics on some end. I don't even care at this point. The cat lady trope, you don't even know if she's a cat lady anyways. Like, you're assuming everything. Makes you look weak-minded. We don't need weak people on our side. We don't. We need people that can present a strong argument that is intelligent, well-researched, based on reality, and solid, so that it will be very difficult to attack. This is like rage. This is toxic rage. And it makes our side look bad. Pipe down, woman. I don't know what that means, honestly. Let's see what Len White has to tell us. The reason why retards are so proud of finishing PhDs is because they are such a pointless and anachronistic waste of time. Who do you think builds the computer you're using to post this? Once again, I'm not saying, yeah, of course, if you have a PhD in gender studies and white supremacy, yeah, it's a waste of time. But once again, there are incredible, the people that understand the billions of transistors that go in the production of such and the way it's done, these are people with PhDs. If I managed to bear sticking pins in my eyes every day for 4 years, I would want to brag about it too. That is the stupidest example, has nothing to do with it. Funnily enough, people like Einstein concentrate on the actual work and not the titles. But he did have the titles, though. He was a mathematician, wasn't he? And how do you know, once again, that she isn't concentrating, Dr. Turner, onto biology and actually advancing our understanding of biology in the lab? I swear, this really annoys me. It really does. The enlightened boomer, what comes first, your baby or your career? One thing men can't do in place of women is have the kid. Then the law of psychological ownership kicks in and you think the baby's yours, which makes you the best one to care for it. This guy just what? As I say, I married a trad wife. She loves being a trad wife. She loves being at home. I provide, and we're very happy. That doesn't mean that I'm going to shame people that have make different choices in their lives. And if she wants to have a career, she also can have a career and a husband and children at the same time. Like, no one is taking that away. But how do you know that she wasn't, for example, in a relationship, but then the guy cheated on her, for instance, and so she was going to marry him and have children, but he freaking cheated? How do you know? And I'm saying, I don't know if that's happened. That's what happened, which is why I don't pass judgment without the data. You, however, do. With one look at this woman, you have decided you know everything about her life choices and you can pontificate. Basically, what these guys are doing is that they are treating this post as if she said that they are using her original post where she was just saying, hey, look, I got a degree, and she was happy about it, like anyone did. When I got a degree, I posted on Facebook, for crying out loud. She got this PhD, she posted it, and everyone is reacting to it as if what she did post wasn't, I got a degree, but was, I own the chuds. Look at this, weak men. This is what a woman boss is. We're gonna do women power, also white supremacy. Literally, if that was the post, I would be with you commenting and making fun of her. But that wasn't the post. So why are you automatically assuming that that's the case? And before anyone says, oh, it's because there are plenty of people like that. Right. It's a form of victim blaming at this point. It still doesn't justify it. You have to attack the guilty, but spare the innocent. And this country teaches us innocent until proven guilty. Would you want that? I mean, I'm the guy who made videos about Cleopatra, for instance, and I said Cleopatra wasn't black. Her entire family on the documentary on Netflix showed them all black and called it a documentary. They weren't. They were Greeks. And you know what they did? The radical left on the other side, they came and said, are you saying you don't want black people on screen? Are you a racist? Do you hate black people? You're doing the same thing to her. You didn't investigate. You didn't see, okay, but what is she actually saying? What is she like? You're doing the same thing. And so we'll condemn it. Doesn't matter who does it. There's no reason. And if anything, if she does become now that kind of person, it could be because you pushed it there, because you weren't reasonable, because you just couldn't say either nothing. You don't have to say always anything. It has nothing to do with you. I get it. It's a public post. Either don't say anything, or if you really want to say something, how about congratulations? Have a wonderful day. No, you have to go in there and do the whole thing, because woke. And I can't stand woke. So in theory, we should be on the same side, but I just cringe at people like this. Don't turn into the enemy. That's all I have to say about that. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.